Right, so this week I am here in Lund at the University of Lund in Sweden, and spending a couple of days here to participate in a conference on public theology, specifically thinking about global contributions to public theology as a paradigm in contemporary theology. And this is attached to the inaugural Professorial Inaugural Lecture of my dear friend Professor Ulrich Schmiedel, who is a professor here at Lund University. Now, for those who will remember well, I was in Lund in 2018. I was on sabbatical actually in Gothenburg and visited here in Lund to do a lecture with the Center for Contextual Theology, invited by my friends Elizabeth Girl, Mika Vakahangagas and Agneta Karlberg, and that was wonderful and so great to be back in Lund again. This week the weather is absolutely fantastic, and this morning I had some free time after finishing my paper for this afternoon, and I've just been walking through the city enjoying this beautiful weather and this most amazing campus. I must say that's one of the things that I miss at the Free University. We don't have as beautiful and as traditional a campus as what they have here, and of course we had something similar at Stellenbosch University that I really appreciated. Of course, Amsterdam has its own beauty and charm, and the Free University as well, but I must say it is lovely to be here in Lund today. So Ulrich invited a couple of colleagues to come and reflect with him on what it means to do public theology in a globally entangled setting, particularly for those of us who are working in Europe. And for myself, that's quite an interesting thing, because obviously I'm a migrant from Africa to Europe, and so have some understanding of the ways in which religion and public life engage one another in African contexts, but also have some insights into the ways in which persons who migrate from highly religious contexts to secular or late secular or early post-secular societies think about the role of religion in the public sphere. And so part of my reflection today will be exactly on that topic. So specifically what I will be talking about is the ways in which public theologians like myself and Ulrich and others who operate in Western academic contexts need to think critically about our social, political and academic locations. And I'll be thinking specifically about the ways in which public theology as a discipline has been critiqued, and particularly I'll be thinking about the critiques of people like Rothny Chaka, Vuyani Velem and Taniku Maluleke, as well as Sarojini Nadar, and persons who are critiquing public theology as a kind of universalizing approach to the work of theology. And very often the critique is centered around the fact that certain forms of public theology are attached primarily to the academy, and so are not able to deal with the complexities of theological thinking and reasoning that, for example, people's theologies or liberation theologies can do. But the other thing is also that sometimes public theologies tend to be acontextual. They're not thinking specifically about the kind of contextual and liberative imperatives of theologies like feminist theologies, queer theologies, black theologies, indigenous theologies. And so part of that critique, I think, is important to keep in mind. And I'll certainly be thinking about that in my presentation today. So what will I be arguing? The first thing that I think is that we need to be mindful of the importance of decolonizing the archive. Now, when I speak of decolonization, specifically what I'm thinking about is power relations in academic settings, and the ways in which sort of unquestioned epistemologies, methodologies, and claims that are made in theology can skew or silence or engage in what Sarojini Nadar and Taniku Maluleke called epistemicide, silence ignore the voices of persons from places where there is perhaps less access to the kinds of tools that shape formal academic reasoning and thinking. So here I'm thinking, for example, about publishers and journals, academic conferences, who the persons are, like myself, white male academics, who get to speak, from which positions do we speak, and, where are the other voices? Where do they come from? The second thing that I'll also be talking a little bit about is the ways in which migration is changing the role of religion in public life in secular, late secular, early post-secular Western democracies. And that's certainly the case here in Sweden, and certainly also in the Netherlands, where there has been a need for certain forms of migration, to bring in persons and create opportunities for persons to move into these countries, and thinking about their integration into a particular kind of society and culture. So academics need to think about the ways in which we construct language, approaches to understanding what is happening with persons who migrate from these highly religious contexts. The third thing that I'll say is that the role of someone like myself, a migrating or migrant African theologian in Europe, is to continue to bring spaces about where these voices can be heard, to invite deeper and more critical reflection around the ways in which we do our theological work, and that has to do not only with where we do it, but with whom we do it, in what places we valorize our work, and what counts as knowledge, what counts as truth. How do we share perspectives, for example, of what Gerald West might call the extraordinary reader, the ordinary Christian? How do we allow these perspectives and positions to change and impact the global space? And of course, Ulrich's own work, which has centered a great deal around public theology, political theology, particularly populism and nationalism, has a great deal to say about this, because what we have seen is that on various sides of the religious and political spectrum, people are turning towards religion and theology as meaning-making processes to help to shape their discourses. And sometimes it can be constructive and meaning-making. It offers persons and communities resources for integration and wholeness, for the expression of individual and particular perspectives, but sometimes it can also be very negative. For example, as we've seen in contexts where religious tropes and language have been co-opted for nationalist or populist means. So I'm looking forward to the panel today, and to learning from others and having the opportunity to spend some time with friends. I'm particularly looking forward to Ulrich's lecture. So thanks for watching. As always, it'll be great to hear from you and to hear what you're thinking about this topic, what you're working on at the moment, and just to hear how you're doing. You can drop a comment in the show notes below, or contact me via @DigitalDion on X, on Instagram, and Dion Foster on Facebook, or my website dionfoster.com. So thanks for watching.